Last time on Dragon Ball Z, the boxing match of the ages finally went underway as Perfect Green and Kakarot stanced up and went toe-to-toe for the first round of the Cell games. Onlookers stood in awe as it was clear these two warriors were a cut above the rest, and what they were witnessing right now at this very moment was the pay-per-view match of the century. It was a battle of ups and downs, with both Cell and Goku pulling out all the stops, endangering both themselves as well as everyone in attendance as they pushed their bodies and minds to the limit to fight the greatest adversary either fighter had ever known. The fight came to a standstill when Goku ascended into the air and began preparing his finishing move, charging his ki to unhealthy proportions and preparing a Kamehameha wave potent enough to clear the earth a few times over. Cell laughed at the display, knowing the pure-hearted Goku wouldn't dare fire off such an attack that would undoubtedly smoke his friends and the rest of the peanut gallery remaining on Earth, even if it would mean a victory over the formidable Perfect Green. But as the seconds moved forward and Goku's power continued to rise, it became clear to everyone present that the Saiyan warrior had no intention of stopping his assault, and they might want to start RSVPing for a decent spot at King Yemma's because the lobby was starting to look real damn full. Just as everyone observing was sure that they were about to be the victims of the most tragic case of friendly fire of all time, Goku teleported, appearing directly in front of a confused and horrified Cell, whom probably had his mind blown figuratively and metaphorically, following Kakarot's big brain play. And just like that, it appeared that once again Goku saved the day. Breaking free from poor render purgatory, Yamcha was one of the first to breathe a sigh of relief, preparing his knee pads to give Goku the sloppiest best bros thank you of a lifetime until he looked over at the rest of his comrades and saw that for whatever reason, their buttholes were just as clenched as when the fight first began. As Satan continued lying his ass off in the post-game interview, Goku just stared, becoming more and more confused at the situation. Clearly this fellow was in no shape to box anytime soon, but for some reason his energy signature was damn near just as strong as when they were in the heat of their scrap. And as if being summoned by the gods of anxiety and bad vibes themselves, Cell springs to his feet in fantastic horror movie fashion and in moments gives birth to himself, shaking off the cobwebs and immediately ready to box. Goku's reaction to this is too funny, because by all accounts he should be the most upset and salty about the whole thing more than anyone in the arena, but instead manages like, oh shit, I forgot you could do that. Shout outs to Big Green, I guess. The way he just casually accepts the near Armageddon tier news lets you know one of two things. The man's contingency plan must be absolutely rock solid, or he has taken one too many double axe handles to the dome and the earth is cooked. And to be real, the line between these two realities gets blurrier and blurrier every single minute that passes. Cell lets Goku know that his little jump scare trick was cute, but it ain't gonna work again, so he hopes he's got some actual hands to back up the parlor tricks, or his day is about to get a whole lot worse. Goku assures Perfect Green that much like a broken Xbox, he ain't here to play no game, shout out to Dashi, and rushes forward to begin round 3 of the melee as though nothing ever happened. As the back and forth continues, Goku takes a Wreck-It Ralph-sized right hand from Cell that leaves him tattooed in the side of some rocks. And unfortunately, it was right at this moment that it became clear to me that Kakarot's chances for a dub were much lower than I ever could have realized. As Goku was breaking in the recliner in his new home, Cell came rushing to give him a free housewarming gift, when in a burst of energy, Goku bursts through the rocks surrounding him and gives us his best Vegeta impersonation, firing off a continuous energy blast volley that I guarantee put a little tear in the prince's eye before Cell got sick of getting peppered up and unleashed an energy barrier, ending the nonsense immediately, but giving Goku props that he forced him to use it because he was convinced that there wouldn't realistically be anything the Saiyan could do to put him in danger at all. And what comes next out of Goku is either the fumble or the power play of the century. Cell, realizing that as strong as Goku is, he's still only human, and as a result, the fatigue from their long-standing back and forth is finally starting to show itself. Cell, being the gracious host he is, tells Goku that he'll allow him to take a quick perk break so he can get back to form and play with him a little bit more, because he's still got wood and the only thing that seems to provide any relief is playing patty cake with the supercharged Saiyan. Down below, Trunks is like, say less, my man Krill got a whole bag of them things on him. If you really want to eat another warp Kamehameha so bad, let me grab a bean really quick and he'll be ready to spend the whole block again, no questions. But the future homie's dismay, both Krill and his dad haven't said a word and the math is currently unsolvable. It's at this point his Pops chimes in, with the prince immediately reminding his son how much of a disgrace he is that even the bald man here understands why it wouldn't be cool to give Goku a bean right now, and he doesn't. He reminds Trunks that as much as it burns his pee hole to admit it, Goku was a true hitter and he would die before hitting a perk mid-fight against an opponent who has been fighting him fair and square. Right now, all they can do is rely on the plan that Kakarot has seemingly cooked up, because because that smirk the clown has splattered across his face right now must mean he still knows something that they don't. This is where Cell chimes in, reminding Goku that he knows he's got them Saiyan genetics and is probably guessing whether it's fair play for him to eat a bean or not, but he promises that his worries about unfair advantages are misplaced. Following Cell's words, Goku smiles. Now all eyes near and far are locked in on him, waiting for the warrior to say something heroic as he prepares to continue his brawl with Cell that will decide the fate of the known future. Suddenly a shift happens and the heat and energy that was surrounding the blonde warrior all of a sudden just disappears. The audience grows even more confused, wondering if this is some sort of effort to conserve energy on the Saiyan's part. But all theories and conjecture are immediately thrown out the window when this man's son Goku utters 3 simple words that no one who has ever met him in his life ever thought they would hear him say: I give up. Homies, you could hear a pin drop in the arena after this man spoke up. But just to make sure there was absolutely zero confusion about his intentions, Goku continued, assuring everyone in the spot that they heard correctly, that boxing Cell made him realize he has 0 hands, and he is currently actively giving up the fight for Earth's future. Bro, I almost passed out from laughter. This man's whole crew, I'm talking Vegeta, Krillin, Trunks, Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, his son were ready to throw up on the spot in absolute God's honest disbelief that their only chance for a dub voluntarily disqualified himself and said deuces. Honestly though, what might even be funnier is Cell's reaction, because rather than being happy or satisfied at his victory, Perfect Green might have truly been more pissed off than anybody else there. Man had to compose himself and was like, look Goku, I'm gonna say this real slow because I know you ain't got an IQ like that, and I really want you to hear what I'm saying. You do realize that the second you quit this fight right now and there's nobody left to run my fade, I'm gonna carpet bomb this whole planet and leave it dustier than that one smelly kid with a blanket and Charlie Brown. I'm not bluffing, bro. The only reason I don't smoke on that Earth pack a week ago is because I was having wet dreams about wrestling with you. I can't have you playing with my emotions like this, big dog. On the sidelines, old homie with the microphone starts gassing up Satan like, yo, Hercule, this is all you, bro. You've been talking about how if it wasn't for that orange safety vest wearing hillbilly out there stealing the spotlight, you would have been put the walls of Jericho on Cell. Now it's nothing but space and opportunity out here. You can see all the light leave Satan's eyes as he does his best to cap to the world, telling them, yeah, I've been waiting for my chance to get sturdy. Let me grab my, would have guessed my herb that got a syphilades would come back at a time like this. Oh, the cruel irony. As humanity slowly begins to realize that it's actually doomed, the golden-haired fighter speaks up once more, assuring Cell that even though his days in the ring might be over, there's still definitely someone in the stands that can run his pockets. With this proclamation, the Z-Warriors slowly begin looking at one another absolutely pressed, trying to figure out who Goku's talking about. Cell is even more skeptical than the Z crew at this point because he looks over at the ragtag group of numbskulls all pissing themselves at the thought of fighting him, and he knows deep in his imaginary ball sack that not a single one of these dudes got the kind of dog in them needed to get his rocks off. That's when Goku turns directly to his son and is like, you're up, Gohan. Come show this asshole who's boss. Bro, Gohan could not have been more lost in this moment if his life depended on it. And right here for a quick second, y'all, let me just rap real quick, because this whole section is just packed with so many things we're talking about, but the main one is how brilliant and absolutely cursed it is that Goku gave up the fight against Cell and left the future in the hands of his son. It's brilliant and cursed in the sense that it captures the essence of Goku's character perfectly. Goku is considered a lot of things to a lot of people. Many see him as a hero, others as an overly strong himbo with a low IQ and questionable fathering skills, but more than anything, this man's son Goku is the very essence of self-improvement. One thing that I feel like a lot of people get wrong when they talk about Goku is seeing him as a character that is only concerned with strength and being stronger than everybody around him. While this is an easy mistake to make considering Goku's absolute obsession with throwing hands, fighting, and martial arts, I feel it completely misses the dude's intentions behind why he does what he does. Goku isn't really concerned about being known as the world's greatest martial artist by the masses or being acknowledged as having the highest power level. What bro is really concerned about is making sure that he's stronger than the man he was yesterday. Goku is the essence of self-improvement. While everyone else is out here measuring themselves against others to prove how strong they are as a way to stroke their own ego, Goku couldn't be any less concerned with that. For Goku, the excitement that he gets from facing strong warriors comes from the fact that they serve as a measuring post for how far he's come in his own journey. And by diligently facing every opponent with all he's got, he's able to assess his own personal growth and see how he's developed as a warrior as time moves forward. And this is a major reason why Goku always seems one step ahead of Vegeta. Because the prince's pride and ego, he is absolutely obsessed with being better than Goku. And this obsession and inability to cope is the very thing that holds him back as a fighter. Vegeta's mental is constantly in a chokehold of anxiety, ego, pride, embarrassment, and all manner of emotion because of his insecurities and relationship to Kakarot. While Goku, who definitely still sees Vegeta as a rival and would like to avoid falling behind if he can, is nowhere near as concerned with being Vegeta's better as he is with overcoming his own personal best, allowing him something that Vegeta doesn't have: true freedom. Freedom from anxieties of competition and ego, leaving him open to purely and sincerely focus on his training with all of his mind, body, and soul, resulting in him constantly being one step ahead of Vegeta despite the latter's best efforts. In this aspect of Goku's personality, I feel Toriyama captured perfectly in allowing Goku to relinquish the fight to Cell. For the homie, it was never about being a hero or being the strongest in the world. The man just saw an opportunity in Cell, the chance to test his abilities against a once-in-a-lifetime opponent. And after he had his fill and realized he bit off more than he could chew, he had no problem taking the L, especially because he knew on the sideline there was a ringer that could turn the whole thing upside down in the form of Son Gohan. Now there's the part where we start to see the flaws in Goku. While in many ways Goku's the ideal warrior, this does not mean that Goku's the perfect human being. And this upcoming situation with Goku showcases one of his major blind spots. All this man Goku knows is fighting. Not only that, but the dude loves it more than anything else in the world except maybe a meal and knocking up his wife. And because Goku loves throwing hands so much, it makes sense that he would want to share what he feels is the greatest thing in the world with his boy. The only problem is, little homie Gohan does not love fighting the way his pops does. Gohan is a self-proclaimed pacifist, and while he may enjoy practicing martial arts and the closeness that it brings to those around him, this kid abhors violence, and in many ways, he'd hope to avoid it in almost any way he can. Much of Goku's experience with fighting has been voluntary. He's actively sought strong opponents and warriors to test his might against because it's his nature. Many of Gohan's greatest fights have been out of necessity. That boy's career in throwing hands began after he got kidnapped by his uncle and got front row seats to the man playing xylophones with his pop's ribcage. Gohan's experience with conflict has been fundamentally born out of trauma, and whether it was inherently in his nature or a matter of nurture, it's absolutely zero wonder why this kid would have a very different relationship with throwing hands than his pops does. And this is what Goku didn't see, that despite Goku's love for Gohan and all the potential he saw, that boy is not him, and the failure to recognize this fact until the final hour is something that, as we know, works out in the end, but they're gonna pay dearly for, and that Kakarot himself may or may not have to rectify with his life. Now that your boy's off his soapbox real quick, let's return to the Z homies who are all in collective shock that this man Goku really just tagged his own son to go box with Jack the Ripper like it was something you just do. And if I can keep it a whole senzu with y'all, the Z homies' reactions to this revelation were supremely disrespectful. The only one I'm even giving a slight pass to is Piccolo, because he straight asked Goku if them headshots he was taking from Cell had him feeling different, because there is no way he's about to let that little boy go in there and box. Goku's out of his mind if he really thought that this was a play. Now Piccolo's reaction I get. Buddy out here acting out of a sense of care for his stepson, who he wasn't trying to see get put at the end of a Taco Bell logo like the robots who just got done boxing not too long ago. The rest of the Z crew though, they were just violating, no other way to put it. The minute Goku revealed that the ringer was Gohan all this time, the rest of them started cooking up this child for dear life. Had Yamcha out here bugged out like, Gohan, bro, what's a Gohan? You mean you really out here putting the faith of humanity's survival on this little nut stain? The disgusted Jose Marino meme.jpg. Had Trunks coming over to Goku like, look sir, no disrespect, I mean Gohan was literally my master in the previous life, but let's be all the way serious. Buddy has like no hands. My Gohan was out here getting scraped by the Sprouse twins, and you're really trying to put him out here to fight against the man that ate those two for breakfast? Make it make sense, sir. And of course, you already know old crusty ass Vegeta has something to say too. The minute Kakarot called Gohan's name, Vegeta was immediately acting up.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Now I know for a fact that Circus at Kakarot didn't really just play us like his half-breed son is really the sturdiest one out here. I promise you, if Kakarot's son really got hands like that, I'll hang up the gloves personally, because there's no way I'm about to come up third place out of 4 in the Super Saiyan hierarchy. Despite all the doubts and the naysayers though, this man Goku was unflinching in his confidence in his boy. Goku was quick to jump to his defense, reminding Big Krill just who was out there on the front lines with him fighting off the greatest menaces known to man when he was just a toddler. The proud Pops continues, expressing how their training in the hyperbolic time chamber verified in no uncertain terms to him that Gohan has a level of dog in him that the universe has never seen before, and he's confident that this boxing match with Cell is just a catalyst to bring that out. And for further proof, Goku turns to Gohan himself and asks a simple question, getting Gohan's thoughts on the battle up to this point and if he feels like Cell's a problem or light work compared to his own output. Gohan stutters for a quick second, but tells his dad with full honesty that he's pretty sure waxing this man perfect green right now would actually not be a problem like at all, but adds that this is only because the two of them were still just playing out there for real and they weren't giving it their all. With a smirk, Goku looks his boy dead in the eye and tells his son, I can't speak for perfect green, but your pops was giving it his darndest out there. So if it looks like I was playing out there to you, then that should tell everybody here just what type of time you on. Big Green looks down at his stepson and asks if it really did look like Goku and Cell were just playing patty cake out there, and with some hesitation, little homie confirmed it was true. Upon hearing this, Vegeta almost threw up in his mouth and went back to Capsule Corp for a cold shower. He knew without a shadow of a doubt his place on the tier list just changed permanently, but man just didn't have the stomach to process it right now. And here, at the height of Vegeta Saiyan saltiness, is where we'll call it, homies. This whole saga has been an emotional roller coaster, but the ride is fast approaching the end of the station. Tune in next time as the young warrior Gohan steps into the arena and stands tall as Earth's final hope in the Cell games. Was Goku's final gambit the right move, or was leaving the fate of the Earth in the hands of a child too much, too soon? Be easy, y'all, and I'll catch you again in the next video.